everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at our Yakima Roof Rack system here on our 2021 Volkswagen Tiguan. So right now we have the Yakima JetStream Crossbars, which are 50 inches long, and the Yakima TimberLine towers. Since your Volkswagen Tiguan already has raised rails, it's actually really easy to add a roof rack system to it. I recommend doing so if, let's say, you need a little bit of extra storage, or if you want to store things outside of your vehicle, let's say they're muddy or sandy items, or if you have your hitch fully loaded with a bike rack or other hitch accessory, or if you want to add maybe a roof basket, roof box, bike rack. The options are endless with this roof rack, so let's take a look at how it works on your vehicle. So what we have here are the 50-inch long crossbars, which are the Yakima JetStream crossbars. You also have different options depending on what you want to use it for. You can get the 60-inch long ones, which give you a little bit more overhang. Some people don't like that extra overhang, and they think the 50-inch ones are just perfect because it doesn't stick out too much past your roof. It's really up to you. They work the same way. It's more of aesthetics, as well as if you have extra large cargo items, maybe check out our longer crossbars. We have review videos for those as well here at etrailer.com. So these are the JetStream crossbars, which is Yakima's Aero style crossbars. They're a little bit more aerodynamic than even their core bars because of the way they're designed, with it being a bit thicker at the front and then it tapers off to the end. This will help reduce the wind drag as well as wind noise. So compared to your traditional square and round crossbars, they're definitely a lot more quiet. So these crossbars have T-tracks, and that's a little bit more of a modern crossbar design feature. So your older crossbars won't have this channel right in the middle. So if you push down that rubber filling, you can see how we have slots for T-track mounted accessories. So if you do have accessories that require that mounting system, I highly recommend taking advantage of it, because I think it's a bit sturdier that way. Plus, you get to save on your crossbar space compared to clamps that go around your crossbar. But with this being a thinner crossbar than, let's say, the HD bar, most of your clamp-on accessories will fit as well. Holding our crossbars down are our TimberLine towers. So we'll take some measurements just a little bit later in the video, but right now we'll talk about how these towers work. So they have a rubber strap that goes around your rails and then clips right into the tower itself. You also have a locking capability. So if you have this end cap in place, you can switch out these cores for Yakima same key system lock cores. This is especially recommended if you have other Yakima accessories. If you get enough lock cores for both your roof rack, which are 4 cores, as well as your accessories, you'll only need to use one key to access the whole system. So the crossbar itself is made of a lightweight aluminum. So it is designed like that. That way you get to maximize the weight capacity of your roof on your vehicle. Now, even though it is made of aluminum, notice how we have these supports on the inside. This is definitely a lot of a better design compared to your other aftermarket roof racks that don't have as much of a design for support. Now, as for that aluminum, this is covered in a black powder coat finish, and that's going to help resist corrosion. Now, over time, what will happen as you have accessories on there is you are going to scratch and scuff that paint. That's perfectly normal, but I personally recommend maybe getting a paint pen, especially a black one, and paint over those scratches. That will just help resist the corrosion and keep them lasting fresh for a longer time. Now, as for weight capacities, these towers have a weight capacity of 220 pounds, but the crossbars have a weight capacity of 165 pounds. So whenever you have this loaded up, the rule of thumb is to follow whichever is lower of the weight capacities, which means if you have your crossbars, if you have your tower, but your actual roof weight capacity is on the lower side, that's what you need to follow. Just make sure to add all of your whole roof rack system as well as your cargo when you're trying to figure out if you have enough weight or not. Now let's talk about dimensions. So this will depend on where you have it on your rails, because your rails will be farther apart or more narrow depending on where you put your towers. So let's talk about overhang real quick, since this is going to be the shortest of our crossbars, or the shortest of our tower distance apart. So our overhang from the tower to the end cap is going to be 3 1/4 inches. So if you have accessories that require a little bit more overhang, maybe check out the 60-inch long crossbars. But if you don't need a lot of overhang, or if you don't want it, 3 1/4 inches is pretty standard. Now, as for the height this adds to your roof, we'll take a look at our clearance underneath, and you have 2 5/8 inches of clearance. That's going to be your clearance for the clamps underneath your accessories, or if, let's say, you're carrying skis or snowboards, you're going to want that clearance for your bindings. As for the height this adds to the top of your roof, at the highest point, it's about 3 3/4 inches. Now, what I've actually noticed that is kind of interesting is that the Tiguan's roof is very easily accessible, even by just standing on or by the door. Now, if you do need a little extra height as you load or unload your roof baskets or your roof boxes, you may consider taking a look here at the Moki doorstep that goes right into your door hinge and gives you that extra traction or support to get that more height. So for the install process, I actually already did the other crossbar, so we'll do this second one together. And these are like your basic tools that you're gonna need. You're gonna need the TimberLine towers. You're gonna need these plates that go into the towers as well as into the crossbar. So first, let's set up this plate in our tower and fit it over the top of the tower. So there's a thread in that plate that needs to be caught onto. To do so, you have to access the screw that's inside the tower. So loosen your strap and then push it through all the way until it's open. Then you can access that plate or that screw that catches that plate using the Yakima tool. Once you have it slightly loose, just enough where that plate doesn't come off, but still loose enough that you have space underneath it, you're gonna slide it in through your crossbar. So just make sure that you have the tower facing the right way, where the open end is facing the outside of your crossbar, and slide it through until you get it lined up to where it needs to go. So what's going to happen on your Tiguan is, because you have raised rails, and the space apart for those rails will be different depending if you're on the front or the back, the actual measurement that you will use for your bars may be different, but depending on where you want to put them. But what I did is, for my front bars, I have them at 35.5 and then 35.5, so that's 35.5 on each side. Then for my back bars, I have them at 33 inches, and this will be 33.5 inches. Once you have your towers right where you need them to be, you're then going to put the end caps back onto the end of your crossbars. So just slide that on, and then it should pop into place. And then you're ready to put this on your roof. Make sure that the wide part is facing the front of your car, and then just get up onto your roof and then place them on your rails. Once you have it on your rails, you're then going to measure out your crossbar spread. So first, measure out your first crossbar just to make sure it's parallel, and then you can follow it for the second. So I want a 27-inch crossbar spread. So we'll just move that over just a little bit. And that crossbar spread will depend on what kind of accessories you have. Some roof boxes or roof baskets specify a specific measurement, so this is going to be what you're going to use to follow that. And once you have it in the spot you want it to be, you then just bring this strap over and then into the tabs on the tower. To secure it, use the included Yakima hex wrench just to tighten that down. I do recommend going evenly on each side, so tighten it down a little bit on this side, then the other side, then come back to this one. So then your included tool will have an included torque feature. So what that means is, once you get it tight enough, it's going to click. So make sure it clicks twice, and then you're done. So once you've double checked that all 4 towers are tightened down and you're using the torque feature on your wrench to do so, you can then put the caps onto the towers. So just get that lined up, and then it should just clip through. Notice how this has a plastic core. That's because you can replace it with Yakima cores. Check out the same key system cores in order to get a matching set, so only one key is needed to access the whole system. And if you do have those, switch them out right now. And once that's done and everything is locked down, you are good to go. So my final thoughts about this roof rack system here on our vehicle is I think it's a pretty good fit. With how low profile the JetStream crossbars are, it kind of looks almost factory-like with how well it looks on the roof of our vehicle. Now, if you do need a little bit more overhang, maybe check out the 60-inch long bars or even the 70-inch long bars, which may go past your vehicle though. But if you do want something low profile, not as much overhang, and looks a little bit more streamlined, then maybe these 50-inch long crossbars are the ones for you. But all in all, everything works really well. Just be conscious of the clearance underneath if you're carrying skis and snowboards or have extra long clamps. But with the weight capacity, you really can't go wrong with this roof rack system from Yakima. And that was a look here at our Yakima roof rack system with the 50-inch long JetStream crossbars and the TimberLine towers here on our 2021 Volkswagen Tiguan.